The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Huth.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. So last we talked, we weren't sure we were going to have anything to talk about this week other than Karsten's Kings Island haunt adventure. However, in the past 2 days, we've had a lot of news dropped in our lap.
A lot of news.
Carowinds and Kings Dominion and Kings Island took care of
So I
us.
guess my full hour for myself is gone. So
Yeah, our 10-minute episode just turned into like a 2-hour episode.
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think we should just jump right in because we got a lot to talk about and not a little time to do since Kyle's kind of exhausted from all the visitors he's had this past week. So,
I love visitors. Don't get me wrong, but working and going to the parks every night and like staying until way past my bedtime has taken a little bit of a toll on me. So I'm looking forward to some good sleep tonight.
there you go. Yeah, so I'll just jump right in here with a giant Top Thrill Dragster update. So you can't see it unless you ride Power Tower with obviously no cell phones. Magnum, you can possibly see it a little bit. Iron Dragon, you can see it really well, and then Corkscrew. But yeah, so not a whole lot of update with the track being gone. The crane's actually gone, and it's across the street. So there's no new track that's missing, but the big update is all of the station area, all the fencing like around the station, all the queue rails and all of the sections like inside of the actual station are completely gone. It's completely flat.
It's just a cement pad.
Yep, just a cement pad. So
is the operator's booth still there? I forgot to look at that.
it is there. It is still there.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Everything like operational wise is still there. I would assume possibly maybe, the park will close for the season, and I'm sure like a lot of heavy, crazy construction is going to happen after that. But
Yeah,
obviously
they have a really short window before things get going.
unfortunately, we've only got one more full week, and then that's going to be that'll be it. So unfortunately. But yeah, so, we've got, that obviously nothing's happened with the tower. Everything kind of still the same.
All the track that's missing is just the track that had mechanisms of some sort on it.
Right. So
You said there's more catwalk missing.
Yeah, the catwalk around where the unload station. It looks like they cleared off completely.
The
all
inner
that
part
stuff.
of the unload.
Yeah. So like obviously the concrete that was permanent is still there. Nothing's broken up on it yet. But the catwalk that the workers would be on the opposite side, where they would tell you to exit on the opposite side, all of that catwalk that they would walk around and stuff is all gone. So
The triangle is gone.
Yeah. So I don't know, but the which is weird is the launch, the Christmas tree is still up.
That's still there. The finish line's still there.
And most of the supports are still there too. They're still kind of standing. Some of them are gone by the launch area, but most of them are gone or already are still there. So I don't know.
I don't know. You guys have heard us say what we think is going to happen. So that's just our update. We don't know.
Right. And then you also said that you got a quick glance of the construction area on the beach, right, Evan?
Yeah. So Grand Pavilion is continuing very quickly, like really quickly.
Probably trying to get ahead of the crazy winter and snow because that's right on the lake.
For sure, and I can't blame them. But it looks like, and I don't know, what it really takes to put a building up, but it looks like they're just about ready to actually put up the walls and stuff, and the ceiling and roof, ceiling of the first floor and the roof of the second floor. And over at Wild Mouse, there's no vertical construction yet, but we do have a crane on site, so maybe we'll see some track appear before the end of the season.
Well,
even though we
cool.
I just feel it doesn't take more than like a month to build one of those Wild Mouse coasters.
Yeah, part of me feels like it might be done before like December, and part of me feels like they're going to build it all in like March.
Right.
I've always been saying that they should just crack open one ride for winter chill out. Maybe this will be the one.
Oh, that will be the winter chill out because that'll be cold.
Yeah,
we're going to be the first ones to Valley Wild Mouse.
Yeah, right. for sure. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest news I'd say out of Cedar Point this past week.
But yeah, so forget Cedar Point. This is not really a Cedar Point show.
So our news,
we have some variety.
Our news starts south and then goes further south.
Yeah, and it just keeps heading south because it gets warmer and warmer as you keep going.
Going all the way to Florida today, guys. Kind of
my neck of the woods.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah,
Kyle, you want to tell us what's going on at Kings Island?
Yeah, we should jump right into it. So we heard a 24-hour tease yesterday that
if that
something was happening at Kings Island, and today we got a new announcement that seems really cool.
I agree.
This came out of such left field, and I love it.
It's great. It's part of the park that like no one really talked about, but it really needed kind of like an upgrade.
Yeah. So continue.
Not gonna lie, sorry. It almost felt like the old Paramount days, over in that area. So
no more is the old Oktoberfest section of the park. It is being refreshed and renovated with a new area called Adventure Port.
It looks cool. With the renderings and everything, it looks really cool. If anybody has a chance, go to Kings Island's website and check out the renderings.
The concept art looks insane.
Yeah, before we go too far into it, just seeing this concept art reminds me of Jungle X, which I know you two haven't done, but I did at Kings Dominion.
That was my immediate thought too. Like from what I've seen of Jungle X and what you told us.
Well, I was also getting the Carowinds 2023.
Yeah,
their area too.
I love these new immersive themed areas that Cedar Fair is doing.
Yeah, Cedar Fair is taking a big step up with not just plunking down on theme steel roller coaster, in the sun, but trying to make more well-rounded park experiences, which I think a lot of us are going to be in favor of. But go ahead.
I mean, you could speak to this, Kyle, because you live in Florida. This is Disney level, is it not? The theming that they've been putting in these areas.
This is Disney level theming. I mean, it's good. I mean, Jungle Expedition was really cool. It was a lot more effort than I thought Cedar Fair would ever put into a themed land. And the fact that now we have one coming to Carowinds and another one coming to Kings Island in the same year is pretty cool.
And to a lesser extent, Cedar Point. I mean,
farmhouse area,
Yeah.
But I'm just saying boardwalk. I mean, that's kind of the same.
Oh, that boardwalk. Yeah.
They're going for that same idea, just immersive, beachy. But this is about Kings Island.
But yeah, jumping right in. First of all, we're going to see some major revamps to Adventure Express, which
I'm excited for that.
Which, fight me, I will die on this hill. Adventure Express is the best night ride at Kings Island.
If you've never ridden it at night, it's way different than during because you can't see because it's like you go, it's like really quick to the ground. You go left, you go right, you go up, you go down, and you're like you can't see anything, and it's exciting.
It's really good. I
will die on that hill. It is the best night ride at Kings Island.
I'm not gonna say it's best at Kings Island, but
I wouldn't say at Kings Island
better than anything at Cedar Point.
I think I would say the Beast is probably the best for me.
I think it's a little too overhyped.
Okay. Let's be honest. There's not a single ride at Kings Island that's not insanely better at night. Even like Racer is.
Yeah, it's a solid ride. Yeah,
all those rides were designed with night rides in mind.
Diamondback's really good at night too.
Oh,
so, yes. Sorry, we're breaking away
we're off the rails.
No, yeah, it's okay. But it seems like Adventure Express is going to be getting some refresh to the theming, which is pretty cool because we just talked about how Cedar Fair of the past doesn't really like to theme things anymore. But that was
they do.
That was a somewhat themed coaster that over the past couple years, past decade or so, has kind of started to show its age. So it's cool that they're actually going to be going in and
maybe this is a good sign for the backlot coasters too, that maybe their theming will get revamped in the future.
I can't see the backlot coasters keeping a backlot theme because they were the Italian job coasters in the Paramount days.
Right.
I could see getting off the rails again. I could see Kings of Minions becoming like an off-road Jeep type.
Yeah.
That
to
could
fit,
be really
fit
cool.
in with Jungle X.
Now, I don't know
Anyways.
what kind of renovations we'll be seeing because the only piece of concept art we had was for that last little lift hill with the dudes that like move their arms up and down.
Yeah.
You have disturbed the Forbidden Temple.
Yeah.
Now you will pay.
Right.
Next up is a brand new Zamperla flat ride, Soul Spin, which is a Zamperla Endeavor. If any of our listeners have been to Kentucky Kingdom, it is, I think, the same model. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If not the big, it might. I was thinking, looking at the concept art really close, it might be the slightly bigger model.
I'm excited for this because I was able to actually ride this in Kentucky Kingdom. And
I was
it was
too.
Fun. It was fun.
I've not ridden it, even though it has been a ride that is operated every single time I've been to Kentucky Kingdom.
I mean,
I didn't really care for Witch's Wheel, so
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's a new age Witch's Wheel.
Yeah, it really is. It's more open aired. You're not confined in like the little cage that like you got to lock down and stuff and everything. Like it's fun. I like it.
Yeah.
It's either like that or also maybe like an old school like parachute, like a carnival parachute ride, kind of sorta.
that goes up and down.
Kind of like a mix in between.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited to try it at Kings Island. I will finally get on one of these new ones.
And Kyle, where's that going?
The Zamperla Endeavor?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it
looks like where Adventure Express's current entrance is.
Yeah, it
Either
looks
that,
like...
or is it just to the left of that where that what was it?
Okay, so I did some looking at the concept art. It looks like it's where that VIP area was.
Huh.
Okay.
Kind of like
I'm looking
next to Adventure Express's. Actually, you know what?
But look. We're both looking at the concept art, right?
Yes.
It looks like the Adventure Express queue line is moved, and they added some to it.
I'll tell you what. Both of these rides look like they're taking up the old slingshot plot.
Yeah,
That's what I was
definitely
thinking.
partly that. But it looks like they like pushed Adventure Express's entrance back. That's just what
I think it said somewhere, I read somewhere in one of the news articles that they were redoing the queue area for Adventure Express.
did it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at this concept art. I can't imagine they don't. Especially if they're going to be retheming the ride. I bet they're going to try to do like a somewhat themed queue.
Yeah, look at like right next to the station in the concept art.
It says it's going to be enhanced in 2023, includes a relocated queue line and additional theming to the ride. So, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
So that was the first of the two rides that were announced. The second one is Cargo Loco, which is essentially a teacups ride themed to like old cargo barrels, which seems cool.
I can't wait to ride this because I love
This is going to be so fun.
I love spinning the snot out of those. It's so much fun.
All of us fat enthusiasts spinning that.
All right, everybody,
coasters.
whoever wants to get sick, let's go because I'm like a professional spinner. Let's go.
I know
like
it didn't.
people on one of those things.
I know it didn't happen this past year, but if we end up being able to do the Amazing Race this year at Coaster Stock, this would be a fun one.
That would be cool. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god,
So
we're
yeah,
gonna have so much fun on this stupid ride.
We don't know who is designing this ride, but it has to be Zamperla, right? Because isn't all of Carowinds?
All of Carowinds is Zamperla, and then the Endeavor right here is Zamperla.
It seems like they signed a massive contract with Zamperla.
Yeah.
Hey, Cedar Point, can you get some Zamperla flat rides, please? Thank you.
Who
said
next
that?
year.
Who said that?
Next year, hopefully 2024.
Let's be honest, though. Some of those would fit really well in the new boardwalk section.
They would.
Matterhorn, Atomic Scrambler, and not Tiki Twirl, Calypso. Because that's what they're calling it next year.
You could probably stuff a few more in there. I don't see why not.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
So those were the only rides that were announced. And then we did get some food announcements that aren't necessarily new places, but just kind of upgrades from old ones. So Hank's is now becoming Enrique's, which we haven't seen a menu, but it's presumed that it'll probably be the same kind of food.
They did say on the website that it's like tacos, burritos, and salads.
Yeah, so the same kind of menu, just a new name.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be definitely enhanced food options and,
Not that Hank's is bad.
No, I liked it. It was good.
And I really like the loaded mac during Winterfest.
Well, with the way that Chef Major is running that park, you got to think there's some food upgrades coming.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. It's going to feel like, I'm sure you're going to like, when it drops next year, you're going to be like, whoa, feel like you're almost in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw Chipotle.
Really cool.
Screw Chipotle. It's going to be better than that.
Yeah.
And then the beer garden is going to become the Mercado, which it sounds like is still going to be a bar.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it wouldn't be. And the whole building, because that's all one building. It's all just getting a nice repaint, refresh. It looks super, super nice.
Yes, I agree. That like we said in the beginning, that area needed kind of like a little facelift, and I'm glad that it's definitely getting it.
That
I love
felt
this trend
like
of Cedar Fair.
You know, going to Kings Island as much as we do, or visiting as often as we did, that was the one area that just kind of seemed outdated and in
always
need of
seemed
a
a lot
refresh,
to me.
especially after the slingshot got ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that, but also like I remember, Hanks used to be, what was it? Wasn't it Bubba Gump Shrimp Company or something?
Was it?
I think it was during Paramount. I thought it was Bubba Gump Shrimp or something like that. I could be super wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong, but maybe I'm thinking of something completely different. But I thought something was like that. So if I'm wrong, feel free to blow me up in the messenger and tell me I'm wrong.
Karsten, you're an idiot.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this, but I will just say, me personally, when the boardwalk got announced, I was excited. It was a good reason to come back to Cedar Point, but now with this adventure port being announced, I am very excited to come.
And I love that they're taking so much attention to Adventure Express. Like,
I
they're literally theming this area to Adventure Express.
Yeah. I remember that was on the
Us Arrow fanboys.
Someone was like, "Oh, hey, Adventure Express is the next one getting cut." Well,
no, clearly
they're
not.
throwing they just repainted it. They're throwing a bunch of money into like retheming it or like fixing theming or whatever they're doing. So no, and they're spending money on concrete, having to move the queue and whatever. So no.
If they're doing all this, I could see some track renovations, maybe some train renovations,
maybe.
Yeah.
I was also thinking too, before we wrap it up, that maybe not this year because there's going to be a ton of construction over there, but I could totally see Adventure Express becoming a Winterfest ride now because they're going to want these two flat rides open during Winterfest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really like how, just going into, the whole area, we didn't get to talk a little about the area, but like the whole area looks like it's got lots of bright colors. It's got flags hanging from the top and like bottom stuff and everything.
It just looks so awesome.
Different place. So I'm really excited.
I love this trend of Cedar Fair. I think this is going to go, like, I could see Dorney even doing something like this over in that weird area where Stinger was.
I could see Cedar Fair putting in talent, like obviously, with Top Thrill Dragster and like all the money that they're allocating for all that. Once they get kind of like that way, I could either see that Midway being completely redone, or I actually could see Frontier Town all the way from like the start of Millennium Force, all the way over until Maverick, and getting that completely redone, and that in like a big immersive experience, and feeling like you're almost in a Western,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'd be kind of cool. And plus, they could put a few flat rides over there too. Evan, there you go. There's your Zamperla rides. You can put them over there. Because that Midway doesn't have any rides except for water rides. So, but yeah.
Agreed. This is really exciting for Cedar Fair.
Yes, I completely agree. So,
it is a little exciting, and we saw Cedar Fair many years ago try to get into theming with kind of Disaster Transport, kicking it off. And Disaster Transport, it seemed, scared them, and now they're going back. But something else that's kind of scary is Kings Island Haunt. You guys like that one?
That was good. That was a good.
I'll give it to you.
All right, yeah. So Carson, tell us about your trip.
Yeah, so I was able to sneak down to Kings Island just literally for a day. I was able to do
literally for 4 hours.
Right. But, luckily that day was actually not super, super busy. So I was able to get all of the haunted houses in there. Oh my goodness. So like, I know like how, we like, we talk about Cedar Point's, haunted houses and stuff and everything. Well, Kings Island's haunted houses, I feel like just their haunted houses themselves, their scare actors were good, but their haunted houses are more, I guess, immersive. Like you've got we would go through like one of the, I can't remember which house it was, but like there was, I think it was Slaughterhouse, where like literally you walk in and everything on the wall was shifting back and forth, and you're like, whoa. Or like, for instance, like I love the spoiler alert if you've never been through Slaughterhouse. If you haven't been, it's been there for like 10 years, so I don't know why you haven't been there, but they've got that area where you walk through and the whole entire like building falls down on you, that giant animatronic thing. That's actually really cool. So yeah, so it's really, I guess there's a lot of like, oh, look at that, and there's good opportunity for the scare actors in there to be like, get that distraction scare and boom, get you, because you'll be like, oh my gosh, look at that looks so cool. And I think one of my favorite ones is going to be Killmart, because it just feels
I still haven't done Kings Island Haunt, and I love the idea of Killmart.
It feels like it's like Walmart, like Black Friday, that like went completely wrong. And you've got like right in the beginning, you like walk through and you can see.
Wait! You said Walmart, so it is Walmart Black Friday.
Right.
It's Target Black Friday that went.
There you go. Yeah. So you're like, you walk through and stuff, and you get to like walk through the aisles. They've actually got like shelving and stuff. Like it almost looks like you're walking down an aisle and stuff and everything. And
that's so cool.
And then there's like a loudspeaker in there for like talking about like prices.
Attention shoppers.
It's good. It's just all their houses are just a different level. Like I wish, and I hope that Cedar Fair within the next few years, since they got Michael now, like I hope that like they can step up their game like haunted house wise, because scare actors are really good and the training's really good for all of them, but they're missing like the interactivity or like more props, I guess you could say, in the haunted houses. But it was really good. It was fun.
You feel like you're at a haunted house at an amusement park in most cases, where Kings Island's doing a better job of.
Yeah, and now that maybe that's also the bigger difference between Haunt and Hollow Weekends. Maybe that's that different level they're going for. Which if they are, then they're totally hitting it out of the park. Because I literally went and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go again, and I'm like, I can't find another free weekend to go. So I'm like, dang.
So does Killmart still have that like full car in the haunt or in the maze?
Yes, I believe so. And they also have like random, like I think if I remember, there's like a random Christmas section where there's like Christmas trees up, kind of. Yeah,
that's kind of a callback. I think years ago they had a holiday themed haunted house. It was like the Easter Bunny, but he was like torn up. I don't remember what it could have even possibly been called, but
it's cool. It's cool, and plus, it's cool because like they fog out like pretty much the whole entire park. They'll have fog machines going. Throughout the whole entire park, and then the fountain's got a bunch of like fire and flames that just go off every now and again.
They're just using up the rest of their gasoline.
And I also could say that I finally got one of the credits on Beast. I got evac'd, which was really cool. So that was cool.
Yeah. So what happened there? It was after your ride, right?
Yeah. So they were having some issues with it off and on, and then we got in line and we waited. And then we decided, and it opened back up, and we're like, all right, sweet. And it was like 11:20. I'm like, all right, cool. So we got it online. We got on like maybe like 11:40. And I'm like, dang, I guess we're not going to get last ride of the night, but I guess they do Kings Island's doing like a end of the night, like show kind of thing that they're doing.
Ceremonies.
We have
like, opening ceremonies.
Yes.
To your point, Kings Island.
So if you are visiting Kings Island, check that show out at the end of the night at midnight. It's really cool.
It's just them trying to get people to actually stay closer.
Right. Well, it also tells them to get out because it's trying to get people out of the park as well. It's actually really creatively done. But yeah, so we were like, all right, we'll be able to watch that show. And then we rode the ride. Everything was fine. We got to the brakes, and I'm like, we kind of stopped a little bit further back, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then as soon as like we stopped, they were like, attention riders waiting to ride Beast. It's down mechanical. I'm like, uh-oh. And then sure enough, I was like, well, I see the queue start exiting out, and I'm like, Lauren, I think we're actually going to be evac. She's like, what? No way. I'm like, they're emptying out the queue, and it's like it's 12 o'clock. So I'm like,
so you didn't get to see the closing ceremonies?
No, we got to see it from sitting in the we got to see it from sitting in the Beast the train. We didn't get evac probably until like 12:30. So we got last ride of the night, which was
like
fun.
40 out that night, wasn't it?
It was cold. It was definitely cold. But it was cool. So yeah, so evacing means, the train parked where it was at, and then they had the Kings Island security and maintenance staff and everybody come on out and make sure everybody got off safely. They opened up the restraints and had us walk off the ride, which is kind of cool. So I got that off my little bucket list.
Cool.
Nice.
So yeah. So definitely Kings Island, is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And they even do Sunday haunt now.
And then go check it out. If you're around in the area or planning to go visit, it is extremely fun.
I might go down there closing weekend. If the weather holds up, I might, because I've been staying literally for probably as long as I've had my driver's license. I need to do Kings Island haunt. I haven't done it in too long.
That's fun.
Quick plug.
Because literally the last time I went to Kings Island haunt, I was still like afraid of haunted houses. And I'm pretty sure I didn't even like any of the haunted houses that were there then aren't still there.
Yeah. That's cool. It's a good time. So that's all I got.
Quick plug. I used to do Kings Island haunt at least a couple times a year. And, living as far away as we did, like 2.5, 3 hours, it was not ideal to drive home. So I would always stay at the Comfort Suites that's right by the Harley shop, like right off Kings Mills Road or whatever.
Yep.
Super clean, super quiet, only like $100 and some a night. Pretty cheap and very nice. So if anyone does find themselves at haunt and wants to stay, I will recommend that 10 times out of 10. Every time I need to stay at Kings Island, except for the couple times I did to Camp Cedar, that is where I stay. Like Coaster Stock, I had the room for like 4 nights. So yeah, quick plug. So speaking of weather holding up, I'm sure the residents of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia are now hoping that their weather holds up, as Carowinds and Kings Dominion earlier this week announced a shift to year-round operation. Now, this is not 365-day-a-year operation like Knott's Berry Farm. However, this is year-round, meaning probably weekends in January, February, and then...
They already posted their hours.
Did they? Okay.
It's Saturdays and Sundays until, like, spring break.
Yeah, probably
That's
spring
awesome.
break.
I can't wait to, like, ride Fury in, like, February and be like,
I'm riding Fury.
I wouldn't count on that.
Hey, a guy can dream, right? Like, Kyle's dreaming about, riding the Wild Mouse at Winter Chill Out.
Yeah.
So I can have my Fury dream, right? I mean,
right.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying, I just spent 2 weeks in Virginia, and it was cold. I was cold.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do this and like what the ride lineup is they're gonna probably, I assume they're gonna release a ride lineup.
Well, I would think that the ride lineup will be different for January through half of March than it will be during like Winterfest, because like the Winterfest rides need maintenance.
Yeah, but you got to think. Yeah, but you also have to think that maybe they're going to do like one train on the coasters. Because I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's going to be super busy, but maybe they can get away with like one train ops, because obviously the other coaster trains need to be rehabbed.
What I'm saying for like Carowinds though, like do Copperhead and Afterburn like they've been doing for Winterfest. Shut those down.
Yeah,
and then do like Intimidator and Nighthawk.
And
have Intimidator and Nighthawk get refurbed while Winterfest is going on.
And I'm just saying,
actually, Nighthawk doesn't even need it.
My fingers are crossed that like this goes well. Hopefully, it's like a test, and then in phase 2 they roll out Kings Island, because holy crap, that would be awesome. And then maybe phase 6 or 7 Cedar Point, but
never. It will never happen.
I personally do not want to go to Cedar Point in January.
No, I just want some, hopefully maybe years down the road, maybe we can get a Winterfest. That would be the icing on the cake for me, because I know the winters up there are just so.
Yeah, Carson's that numbskull that every year at Winter Chill Out goes, when are we going to have a Winterfest at Cedar Point?
Yep, that's me. I always raise my hand every single time, and I always ask it, and I always will.
And Tony ignores you.
Tony goes, "Get a load of this guy,"
as he should.
Right. But no, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good for the parks. I'm hopefully they are able to maybe create not as seasonal positions and they have more like.
Well, that's why I think Kings Island
seasonal,
might get it,
but
because I know they've been hiring food full-time people. And Carowinds has been hiring year-round ride-offs for like the last 2 years. So
great for these parks.
I mean, that's good. We know a bunch of people that live in, that live in that don't live. They actually work at Carowinds, and I know I'll have to reach out to them. I'm sure they're excited that they're gonna, at least have a job at least on the weekends. So,
Yeah. Or not excited. We'll see.
Yeah, right. They're like, dang it. We thought we were gonna recharge our batteries and come back in like early March or late March or whatever. But nope,
right,
definitely not. So I don't know. I think it's a good park. I think it's very interesting because I know Six Flags has been like taking away stuff. Like a lot of their holiday in the parks were like nixed from a lot of the parks. Six Flags Magic Mountain, I guess, isn't going to be quote unquote 365 days of the year anymore. I think they
really got that already
on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I believe. And I don't know about until next year, and then
let's be honest, that was a gimmick.
But Cedar Fair's like jumping in, and it's nice that Cedar Fair's going to have more money rolling in besides Knott's when things are closed.
Great for these parks for doing this, but. I'm really worried about their ability to, one, make money during this, and two, staff the park, because like we're super coaster fans, and we just got done saying how we wouldn't want to visit parks like this in January and February. It's one thing for Winterfest when people are still in the Christmas spirit to go to a park, but like, come on, middle of February, 30 degrees. Who the hell is waking up going, you know what? Carowinds.
Well, I don't know.
I think Carowinds could pull it off because Carowinds, it could be 70 all year. It really depends on if they can do some sort of food event. I think we can see that food events are what attract crowds in slow times.
And they could put together like a food event.
That's what I just said.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even. Wow, I must have brain farted there. But
and if they can manage to do, like I said, you got to have like one or two major coasters open.
Yeah,
especially Kings Dominion. I don't know. That's going to be tough because it gets a heck of a lot colder even there than it does in Charlotte.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, Busch Gardens is year round over there. So
yeah, but I believe they actually stopped that already.
Did they? Okay. Well, then it'll be interesting to see.
Which would mean Kings Dominion saw they were getting people up there at Busch Gardens, and maybe Busch Gardens just decided, hey, we can't handle it from a maintenance standpoint.
Yeah,
I don't see where Kings Dominion would handle it any better because they have more rides to maintain. But I'm trying to look at Kings Dominion right now to confirm.
It was definitely an announcement that I did not see coming.
That came out.
That came out of like. Left, like not even in the same field.
That wasn't even the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, however, if executed right, I think it could work out. But I don't feel like this is going to be we're going to see a return on investment in year one, right? Because they have to prove themselves here. They have to prove we can keep some rides open. We can provide things for people to do when it's 30 degrees out.
And it could be more of word of mouth and being like, hey guys, you can go ride Fury in February. And it was really cool.
Right? But it's July, right? And Tim from The Office comes in and goes, yeah, February I went to Carowinds and it was actually really cool, right? And then the next year, 4 people from his office go try it.
Right. I mean, Evan, let's go. Road trip, let's go. We can do a day.
Depends. Well, like Kyle just said, that depends on what kind of rides are open. I ain't going if it's just Planet Snoopy.
Yeah, it's like, hey, by the way, we're open, but we're not exactly sure what rides are going to be open. I'm like, Hopefully they come out with like some kind of list like they do for Winterfest.
Do you guys remember?
And I think they will.
Earlier this year when Kings Dominion did like the bonus days where it was like 12 to 4 with 3 rides open.
Yeah,
that's what I think this is going to be.
And it was essentially their like Winterfest lineup.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
I think that's this is gonna be too, but I do think in both parks cases they're gonna have to close their Winterfest rides after January 1st, reopen 2 other coasters, and refurb their Winterfest rides.
Yeah. Can we also say
Dominion's gonna have a heck of a time?
I know we didn't put it on our list, but how about the Michigan's Adventure getting a fall fest?
Yeah, I'm really happy for them. That's really, really encouraging.
It's very good to see that, you know, they're putting time and effort into it, and it looks like they actually want to see like the park wants to stay open longer. Obviously, they're making money, so that's good.
Yeah, that is not a surprising move to me because Michigan's Adventure is one of the more profitable parks in the Cedar Fair chain. Just because the overhead cost to operate a water park is much lower than an amusement park, and they are mostly a water park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really exciting for them. I think this I'm not expecting a Giga Coaster, but I think this might pave the way for something at some point. Maybe Railblazer.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, once the weather breaks, or if you know you need a break or something, you can trade in the snow boots for your swim trunks and come ride the new SeaWorld coaster.
That was a much better segue than yours.
That was.
I sat there and thought about it for a few minutes. But yeah, you know, my backyard, I can essentially huck a baseball and hit Mako. Can
you really? You're that close?
I'm about 12 minutes. I'm not far.
Wow, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, they announced a new gen B&M stand-up ? Coaster.
Yeah, stand-up.
Kind of, not really.
I don't know, man. It's bouncy.
Well, okay, that was the problem with Mantis, right? No matter what gender you are, you were getting crushed because those seats had no forgiveness.
No.
And that's what made stand-up coasters uncomfortable. But if we've solved
and
that
the forces
problem,
on your legs.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
and in your
it was painful. It was very painful.
If we've solved that problem, though, maybe it's a more comfortable ride experience.
If this works out, I am begging any stand-up coaster, Vortex or Carowinds, please get these seats. If you're going to keep Vortex, that's a different discussion for a different day.
Well, it might be a different gauge of track because that's why like Rougarou and other rides like that can't get the vest restraints because the gauge of track is different and those trains aren't designed for that.
Right. I don't know, but maybe because these are only 2 across, who knows?
I don't know.
They're very interesting trains.
Yeah, they are. It's an interesting ride. I mean, let's just put it like that. I mean,
yeah, and the ride itself looks super fun.
No, it does. And another thing that hurt these B&M stand-up coasters is, you know, back in the day, B&M didn't have the best reputation for smooth coasters, and now they've kind of proven themselves.
Yeah, I think it's a cool concept, and hopefully it's good and it catches on, and we can have another big cool concept that could come to other parks or other Cedar Fair parks.
So I mean, this is coming to Cedar or SeaWorld, but we got to spin.
Maybe we change Rougarou back to this one.
Yeah, you know, I'll get to watch this coaster be built. I'll keep you guys updated on it. But quick little 5-minute tangent. Is there a ride in the Cedar Fair chain, floorless, stand up or not, that you would hope to see converted to this? And if not, is there a park that you would hope gets a ground up one of these?
I would say no current rides. If you're gonna keep Rougarou or Vortex, rip Vortex out. Rougarou, I would say just keep it staying.
I could honestly see Kings Island, the big plot of land where Vortex
that was where I was going.
Or
Vortex
a shot in the dark. Why not? Why not throw a ton of money on it? Michigan's Adventure.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Kings Island. I liked your Kings Island thought.
But yeah, I think that'd be cool because like the valleys that you can go through back and forth, and
if it works out,
right. If it works out, because I heard a rumor that they were wanting to put like a wing coaster there, and I'm like,
or a dive coaster.
Yeah, I mean, a dive coaster would be kind of cool, but
I bet Kings Island will be maybe not watching this super closely, but close enough that,
to see how the ridership is, how it is, how the reliability is,
I'm worried about capacity with it. SeaWorld could kind of get away with it because Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never been there, but I don't think they get that crowded, especially ride wise.
Yeah, there's certain days where they really get crowded, or certain times of the year, but for the most part,
they don't really need the capacity like a Kings Island or Cedar Point does.
Exactly. For the most part, you can just walk into that park and kind of have the run of the place.
Well, which I don't understand, Kyle. Like, for just instance, like the parking lot could be slammed busy, and you're like, oh, it's going to be a bad day or whatever at SeaWorld, and you literally go in there and it goes like a 10-minute line. I'm like, what is going on?
Carson, you've been to SeaWorld?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I need to join.
Right. You just need to go take DP Rundown credit card and hang out with Kyle.
Second, maybe not Kings Island, but maybe Kings Dominion and Volcano spot, going on the thing of we don't need insane capacity.
That could be a good
the launch coaster.
No,
just like Volcano was.
Volcano didn't deserve to die for B&M.
I'm not saying it's worthy. I'm just saying I could see it. It's better than the wing coaster we saw leak years ago.
Instead of a giant like mountain or volcano, they could build a giant surf, like a giant wave, and it goes through everything.
Yeah, it's called a surf coaster, but it's going to be themed to monkeys because Toonbeely.
Super fun ride, by the way.
I'm excited to
guarantee that's open. That's open.
Maybe I'll be able to ride that in February. There's another list.
It is not going to be open in February. Come on.
I mean, I bet it's open for winter.
I could just feel like radiation of your jealousy because you're like, those guys can't have year-round parks close to them. I moved down to Florida because, that was one of the selling points was I can have your right. Obviously,
we have a park in Carowinds that's equidistant from all three of us that's open year round. So.
Yeah, right.
I would also just like to say it is cold here. Like, oh my God.
Oh, bite me. You know what our high today was in downtown Cleveland? Like 42.
Yeah. And it was like rain and wet snow.
I drove to work in the snow this morning.
And you know how cold it was here this morning?
55.
It was in the low 50s. That is cold.
Which I have been to Florida when it's like cold in 50s and it's like really humid and you get sweaty, but like you're not hot, but it gets really just cold. Like
it was actually
But Carson, you would take that over what we had this morning.
Yeah, actually, no. Because when I was in Florida when it was cold
sleet?
when it was cold like that in Florida, I was miserable. I had to wear my winter coat to the parks and it was weird. People were walking around with thick North Face gloves and like winter hats.
Well, that's because Floridians it gets to be like below 70.
That is true.
I'm turning their heat on.
Yeah. I'm waiting for a selfie with Kyle to have that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah,
and then the little temperature thing on Snapchat, 62.
Yeah, right.
It was not cold or it was not humid today, but it was really funny because I went to Epcot tonight and people were wearing, full on winter coats and stuff. I did pretty good. Okay. Before you make fun of me for taking the selfie being cold with the temperature thing, I did that. Okay. It was a video.
I love it.
And I was in a hoodie and a beanie hat.
I love it.
Wait, sweatpants, cargo shorts.
Khaki pants. I was at work.
There you go.
Okay.
I
guess that's fair. I'm gonna too much.
Before we close, I'm gonna plug what we talked about. So we've actually got our annual CP Rundown Giant Group photo. It's going to be in front of the Giant Wheel on closing day.
We don't know what time yet.
We don't know yet. We don't have a time.
3:30, 4, somewhere
probably
in that neighborhood.
Something like that. Yeah. So anybody, you don't even have to like the page. You can hate us, whatever. If you want to show up and take a picture, there's normally hundreds of people that show up, which is kind of crazy, but it's cool at the same time. Feel free to come on down, and then the calendar contest is ending here. Do
we have a date?
End of the season. End of the season. We'll cut it. Yeah.
You guys should just make closing day the last day to submit.
Yeah.
Let's give it November or October 31st so that people that go closing day.
Because I need to start putting it together. No, it takes
one day is too much.
Yeah.
All right. I tried, guys. I tried.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to say something too with the photo. Really cool. Kind of. This was our idea back in April. Feels like yesterday we were talking about, me and Karsten. Oh, where should we do opening day photo? Oh, let's do it in front of Giant Wheel so that when we do closing day photo, we do it in the same spot and we can see the progress. Well, there really is visible progress, so it's going to be kind of cool to see that.
Yeah, there'll be like a before and a long after. So
and everybody's going to still be in winter hats and winter coats and stuff because it's going to be cold both days.
Right.
Probably.
Right. But yeah, so definitely come on out. It'll be fun. Closing day, it's sad, but it's also fun. I'm kind of happy that when it's closing day, because like you can like kind of rest, recharge, have a few weekends to yourself, and then by the time you have those, it's Christmas and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and then it's New Year's, and then you're like, okay, where are the parks? Because I'm bored.
Well, and it's okay too for those of us that actually have other hobbies. Please, people, have other hobbies.
And we're also, the Cavs. I know anybody sports fan. Cavs just started. Obviously,
Blue Jackets.
No,
not the Guardians.
Hockey and things like that. You've also got the Browns. But yeah, so
I have
we have stuff.
I have a very interesting personal dilemma because Evan, me and you are really big into hockey. Carson, I know you are too.
Yep.
My old
Solar Bears.
My old hometown team, the Walleye, who I am still a diehard fan for. I know players on the team because my college was a big feeder school into there, and I worked in athletics. They are playing my new hometown team in February in Orlando, so I'm gonna go.
Ooh,
yes, and you're going to wear a Toledo Walleye shirt. You can't give up that allegiance.
Probably wear a Toledo Walleye shirt.
I don't think you can.
You're still a Toledo fan.
You can't just watch you like end up running into somebody, and you're like, oh crap, and you have like the Florida shirt on. You're like,
and we're so off base. I don't even know if we'll keep this in the podcast at this point, but let's be honest, Toledo is way better than Orlando.
They are.
Like
you really think I'm editing this out?
No, let's keep it.
Yeah,
right. If everybody sticked around for almost an hour, there you go. You got to see a little bit inside.
If you want to see us in the off season instead of at the parks and tell us how much you love our podcast, because we have had some people do that and we appreciate it. That's really cool. Keep doing that.
Also, we were talking before we got on the air. If you guys have any ideas for us to do in the off season, we'll take.
If you
ideas.
Want to hear our voices,
we're going to try to do probably twice a month. I think we maybe we'll do every week. It just depends. There's not enough news to like talk about, so we don't want to just have it be like a 20-minute podcast about just random stuff. We want it to be more, beneficial.
I went to Winterfest for the 6th time this year.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
but I mean, with the parks being open all year round down at King's Dominion and Carowinds, I mean, maybe we could do it.
We're gonna have to do a group outing to one of the parks, like just one weekend that we
could do that.
Plan to meet up.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Ride a few rides together, maybe grab a bite to eat or something or whatever. Grab a drink.
But I was going to say too, if you want to come see us, find us at an Orlando Solar Bears or Columbus Blue Jackets or Cleveland Cavaliers or Cleveland Monsters, and not a Cleveland Browns game.
Yeah.
During this off season.
But yeah, definitely thanks for sticking around with us. This is, I think, our 18th episode. So shout out to Justin's mom that likes to listen to us and yeah, so actually real shout out to her because was just texting Justin about a minute ago. I sent out my Snapchat streaks for the night and it had the Zoom link in our recording software, and Carson's like, my mom's gonna be really happy.
Oh my god.
She's not going to be happy when she hears that we're not going to go possibly every single week in the off season.
Well, I don't know her name, but shout out to her. She is our most loyal fan.
Shout out to Mrs. Campbell.
Yes, Mrs. Campbell.
Well, another week is come and gone, and who knows what we'll talk about next week. Earlier we were saying we didn't think we would have anything to talk about this week, and here we are, almost an hour later. And, only 2 weekends left at Cedar Point, so that'll be a sad day. Thank you for sticking around, and like we said, we'll hammer out the off season when we get there. And be sure to be taking photos for our calendar contest, and we will keep everyone posted on where our closing day photo is going to be. And that's about all we got. So have a good week, everyone. Be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the midway. Good night, everyone.